everybody. In this tutorial, let us discuss how to give dashboard inputs in Splunk. So in order to do that one, first of all, let us create a dashboard. Let us go to the Splunk interface and let us create a dashboard. Okay. So if I click on this one, so I have already opened the thing over here. So I'll be creating a dashboard right now. So in order to create a dashboard, okay, so we can always build a dashboard based on a SPL query. So what I'll be doing, I'll be going to the search and reporting app over here. Okay, so and I'll be writing an SPL query so that based on the thing we can always build the dashboard. So the query which I'm going to build is a geolocations, okay, count. Okay, so whatever the counts are there, whatever the events are there in my index. Okay, so based on the country, based on the city, and based on the region, I'll be getting the number of events. So that is my query. So in order to write that one, I'll be taking the index, I'll be taking my own index, net underscore index, where I have ingested some web application data. So I have named it as net underscore index, and this index contains a source type called access combined cookie. So I'll be using this one as well. So this is my basic data. So my index is this one, and source type is the access underscore combined underscore w cookie. So now in order to get the geolocations count, I have to extend this query. Okay, so by using a pipe symbol, and I have to use the command IP location. So IP location is a inbuilt command in Splunk. So if it is associated with the field name client IP, okay, so we'll be having a field called client IP. So in our index net underscore index, and in this particular source type, we do have a field called client IP. Okay, so this IP location is an internal command for Splunk. So if this IP location is associated with this client IP, okay, we can get the geolocations information, just like country, city, and region. For suppose if I search it over here, see if I select all time, because this is a limited data, I have ingested limited log files of some web application data. So I have to select all time. Okay, so then only, and it is the previous data, so I'll be selecting all time. Otherwise we won't generally select all time, but whatever the data we want for last 24 hours, last 7 days, or for last 3 months, like that we will be selecting. Okay, so here I'm selecting all time, and if I search this one, so if you see it over here, so see, this is the information we'll be getting: city, country, okay, and latitude, longitude, okay, lat field, long field. Like this we'll be having even region as well. So like this we'll be having the information, all this information we are seeing. Why? Because we have used this particular command IP location client IP, which is an inbuilt command for Splunk, right? So now as I am getting this information, so again I'll be extending this query by using the pipe symbol, and I'll be using a stats command this time. So as we have thought that we have to get the number of events, right? We have to number of events based on this country, okay, city, and region, all those kinds of stuff. So what I have to do, I have to use the function count. I have to use the function count by, so which thing, the country, already we do have this one, all country, city, and region. Okay, so with this one I am going to get the counts. That means what? Based on the country, based on the city, and based on the region, I will be having the counts. That means what? The number of events, whatever I do have in this particular index and this particular source type. So I will be getting the events over here. So now if we search this one, so this is the result set we will be getting. See, based on the countries, for this country Argentina, for this city Mendoza, and again for the region. Okay, the region is also same over here, and again for this region Mendoza. So how many events are there? 205 events are there in my particular index, and in my particular source type access underscore combine underscore w cookie. So here if you see, all are duplicates. So what I can do, I can always use the command dedupe, and I'll be saying country. Okay, country. So now if I search this one, the duplicates will be eliminated, but still some blanks. Okay, and some other duplicates are also there for city and region as well. So what I'll be doing, I'll be again deduping, okay, these other fields as well. I have to extend it by using a pipe symbol. So a pipe symbol, okay, so what it will be doing, so you can always get the previous data, you can always get the previous data from the previous things. Okay, so dedupe, again I'll be saying over here, and I'll be saying city. Similarly, again I'll be saying dedupe, and I'll be saying region. Okay, so now if I search this one, so now I'll be having this one. Now almost all the duplicates are eliminated. Of course, there is a blank over here. Other than that, no duplicates are there. So this is the result we do have, right? This is the result set we do have. So this thing I'll be showcasing in my dashboard. Okay, so I'll be showcasing my dashboard. How can you do that one? You can always click on this save as, and you can always click new dashboard over here. Okay, so already if a dashboard is existing for you, you can always click on existing dashboard, but as I'm going to create a new dashboard, I'll be clicking this particular link, new dashboard. So if I click this one, so it will be asking for the title. So I'll be saying geolocations, geolocations, okay, count. Geolocations count is title I'll be giving. So description is optional, however, but I'll be giving something. So this is a dashboard which provides geolocations count. Okay, so permissions we can always make it a shared in app. I'll be doing that one, and I'll be selecting this as a classic dashboard. Okay, so dashboard studio will also be there, but however we can always clone it once after doing it in the dashboard studio. If you want to get in the, if you want to get in the dashboard studio, you can always clone it, okay, once after doing it in the classic dashboard. Okay, so panel title if you want, you can always give, or else you can keep it as optional itself. So now if you can save this dashboard will be saved, and if you click on this view dashboard, you can always go to the dashboard directly. So you can always click on this view dashboard, or from settings tab you can always go for all configurations, and you can always find the dashboard name over there, and you can select from there as well. In any of the ways you can always do, or else if you go to the dashboard link in the left side menu, whatever you're seeing over here, analytics, datasets, reports, alerts, and dashboard, from here also you can click this one, and you can find the dashboard with its name. Okay, so now however, as we have this particular button view dashboard, I'm clicking on this one, and I'm directly going into the dashboard. So now this is our dashboard, right? This is geolocations count, and this is the dashboard. So here this is the prominent button, edit button. So apart from this, the other button, export button, is for export options, where you will be finding to export this particular dashboard into PDF, and you can also schedule this PDF, okay, uh, by giving a particular time, and also you can always use a cron expression as well, so that it will be scheduled at a particular time, and by giving email, so whatever the email you give, so for those people it will be going directly. Like this also you can always do. Okay, and again if you click on this three buttons over here, so this is what I'm talking about. So from here you can always clone in the dashboard studio. Okay, whatever the thing you will be doing over here, you can clone in the dashboard studio as well. Okay, so or else you can clone it normally. Okay, so you can give edit permissions as well, set as a home dashboard, all the things you can always do. These are all the generalized things. So prominently, this edit button you have to click, and you have to configure the particular dashboard. So now if you click over here, okay, So our point of discussion, okay, see, add input, right? So dashboard discussions, input options we are talking about, right? So add input, you have to click. So for panels, if you want more number of panels, you can always click on this add panel and you can generate more number of panels. But in this tutorial, what we are going to discuss, we are going to discuss the add input. So if you click on this add input, okay, so you'll be finding all these things: text, radio, drop down, checkbox, multi-select, all these things. So out of all these things, okay, the prominent one are the radio button and checkbox, okay, multi-select, okay. So these three things I'm going to discuss right now, okay. So the other things are similar to the three things which I'm going to discuss. So these are the most important ones, okay. So if you know these things, you can always configure the other ones as well, okay. So that's why I'm going to discuss these things. So these inputs, how you can do, you can always configure, okay, whatever the input you want, okay, based on a certain value, and you can configure the particular dashboard. That is the thing. So now, for example, if I am going to click on this radio input, okay, so if I am going to click on this radio input, so this input will be added to my dashboard, okay. So now I have to configure this input at par with the panel whatever I'm having in the dashboard, okay. So in order to do this one, first of all, what we have to do, we have to edit the particular input whatever we have added to the dashboard. So this is the input, right? So we can always edit by using this pencil icon over here, okay. Edit input, if you click on this one, okay, so this dialog will be opening for you, and you can always give a label over here, okay, label over here. So the label, what I'm trying to do over here, I'm trying to give some radio button. So radio button is an option, or radio button or an option button. What can you do with a radio button or an option button? You can select at any point in time one value. You can select any one value, and based on that one, you can always get the result, right? So here, what I am going to do, so let me duplicate this window so that I can explain you better. Okay, so this is the prominently, this is our dashboard, and this is our result set, right? In our dashboard, this is the geolocation query we are having, okay. This is the report. So if you see the SQL query, if you want to see the SQL query of this particular panel, what you can do, you can always click on this magnifying lens icon, which is called as edit search, right? You can edit this search. If you click on this one, whatever the SQL query we have wrote, it will be showcasing that SQL query. So now what we have thought, I will be giving a radio button value over here, and whatever the radio button value is there, if I click on this radio button, this has to be configured accordingly. So now I do have a field called in my index, this index, net underscore index, okay, and this particular source type, I do have a field called uh, method. What is that? I do have a field called method, where that method will be having two values. One is the get and post. I have told you, right, this is a this data, okay, this net underscore index is the data related to the web application, okay. Log files, I have ingested some log files for web application, from the web applications and all. So this is data related to web application. So in a web application, you can send the data by using get method and post method. So whatever the events that have been generated by using the get method, we do have that events, and also whatever the data that has been generated by using post method, those events also will be having. So for example, let me show that one as well. So if I, yeah, you can always run, you click on this run search, so that will be going to search again. So now if I remove this thing, all these things, okay, and now if I search here, see, you will be finding a field called method over here, where it will be having two values only. One is the get method, another is the post method I have set, right? So my events include, based on this get method, I'll be having some events, and based on this post method, I'll be having some events. See, if you see over here, see, you will be in all the events, you will be finding either get as the method as or post as the method, right? You are seeing, right? So this is the thing. So my events contains both the events from the get method as well as from the post method. So with these two things, with this field I want to configure. So that's why I'm using the radio button, right? So now what I have to do, so if I have to use a radio button, so leave, first of all, leave about the dashboard. In dashboard, how you have to configure, leave it. So first of all, if we have to in a SQL query, okay, so here if I again put this one, so this is our query, right? So this is our query, and if we search this one, we'll be having the same result set again. So now in this particular query, okay, so now if we have to configure, okay, with the method, so how we will be doing this one, we can always put like this, method equals to, see, if I put method equals to some get, okay, method equals to get, if I put method equals to get, so based on the get values only I'll be getting the result set. So right now, see, for Argentina I do have count as 205, right? For Australia I do have 438, for Bahamas I do have 307, like that, right? So these are the counts based on both the things, which things, get and post methods. But because I am going to, now I am especially specified get, right? So now the count should be decreased, okay? So now if I click on this search, see, 126, Argentina 126, Australia 265, and Bahamas 186, like that the counts has been decreased. Similarly, if I get give post as well, okay, so the counts will be changed. See over here, okay, see, the counts will be changed like this. So if we want to configure this particular, if you want to configure this particular result set with the method values, so we'll be configuring like this, we'll be changing the SQL query like this, okay, in a search we'll be doing like this. But in the dashboard, how we'll be doing in the dashboard also, based on which thing we are having the dashboard, based on this query only, right? So in dashboard also we have to configure, but here we cannot hard code like this, or we cannot put the same value, method equals to get or method equals to post, like that we cannot put. Automatically whatever the user clicks over there, it has to come over here. So that's why what we'll be doing, we will be first of all configuring this input, right? We'll be configuring this particular, whatever the input we have added, radio button, okay, that input we have, we have to configure. So this, the label, whatever the label value we are seeing over here, we have to give a value over here. So because for which thing we are using, for method, right? So label, so what I'll be giving label, select method, I'll be giving label as select method, okay. And again, search on change, this thing is, if you check this checkbox, so whenever you select a particular radio button, okay, whenever you select the radio button, it will be changing automatically, this entire dashboard will be changing, okay. So we can always check this if you do not have a submit button like that, but we'll also putting submit button, so that's why I'm not going to check this one at this point in time, okay. So let us leave it, let us uncheck this one, okay. And again, this is important, token, so every dashboard, okay, every input works on this token only, okay. So token, because I am using the method field, I will be giving the token name as also method only, okay. So now token name method, so default value, initial value, so we do not require at this point in time. And again, see, each and every input will be having static options and dynamic options. That means what, we can configure that statically or else dynamically, okay. So here if you see what we have observed over here, here we do have the method values, here we do have method values, two values, one is the post, another is the get, right? So because we do have two values over here, okay, so we did not use the dynamic options, okay. If you have multiple values, then we can go for dynamic options, because only two values we do have, right? So one is get, another is post, we can configure directly, okay. We can give, we can hard code these values, okay. So I'll be saying we will be having two things, one is the name and other is the value. So name, so name is the thing that is displayed for the user, and value is the thing that Splunk will be taking internally. So Splunk will be using this value, actual value, as the token, and then it will be automatically configuring this particular panel within the dashboard, okay. So get is the thing, so get is the thing I'll be putting over here. That means get, the name get will be displayed for the user, and value also I'll be putting the get only, because we do have the, what is the value we do have, value also we do have the get only, so that's why I'm putting get only. Okay, similarly I'll be adding another one, and I'll be saying post. This is another value, right? So name also post I'll be saying, and value also post I'll be saying. Okay, so like this you can always put, and here we need not configure this one because already we have statically configured. Okay, so now what we can do, if you want to put any one as the value as the default, okay, you can always select. So whatever the values we have given, so likewise only the user can also see. So if you want to put get as the default value, you can always select this one. Okay, otherwise you need not select, that's your wish. Okay, so now after doing all these things, because we have selected default, no need of selection initial value again. Okay, so and again token prefix and token prefix are not required for this particular reader button input. Okay, and if you click on apply over here, okay, so now it has been configured. And again, as I have said that we'll be using submit button, right? We have not selected the checkbox, right? Check on change. So that's why what I'll be doing, submit is another input, right? Submit is another input in Splunk, where if you select, the submit button will be appearing, and if you click on this one, then only it will be submitting. So automatically it will be submitting the values. Okay, it is not just like in your programmatic language where you need to write your code. You need not do nothing over here. You have to simply add the submit button, and if you click on the submit button, automatically whatever the inputs are there, those inputs will be submitted and they will be configured. Okay, and so and hence your dashboard will also be changed. So you can always click over here, click on the save button, so that all your changes will be saved. Okay, now and again if you have to click on edit, so that you will be coming into the edit mode. So when you come to the edit mode only, you can change all the things. Okay, so now what we have done, we have configured this particular input, right? We have configured this particular radio input, but but according to this radio input, your panel should also be changed, right? Your dashboard should also be changed. So that's why what you have to do, you have to sync this panel as well with the radio input. Okay, you have to sync this panel. So how you have to configure this panel as well with the radio input. How you can configure? So if you click over here on the search window, how we have done in the SQL editor, we have put method equals to post, right? We have put method equals to post. So here what we'll be doing, we'll be clicking on this magnifying lens icon. Okay, and here also will be just like how we have put method equals to post over here. Okay, so what we'll be doing over here, we will be just what we have given a token name, do you remember, right? So we have given, what is token name we have given? Method as a token name we have given. So we'll be giving the same token name over here. Okay, instead of method equals to get, what I have to say, I have to give the token name method. Okay, so if I give the token name as method, so now if I click apply over here, okay, see automatically it will be configured based on the method. Okay, so now again if I click on this post, so we have to save this one first of all. See, and again if I click on this post and if I click on this submit, okay, so the value will be changing accordingly. So you have got two values over here, one is the get. Okay, so if you click on submit, you'll be getting these values, and also if you click on post, we'll be having these values as well. Okay, so like this you can always configure the radio button. So next one is what we have thought, next one is the checkbox. So if we consider this input, okay, so what is this input for? You will be having check boxes, right? We'll be having check boxes. So if we check a checkbox based on that particular input, how we are changing the panel right now for the for the actual radio button. So for these checkboxes also will be changing like that. Okay, so in order to do that one, so let us add this checkbox, and this time, okay, so let me first of all add this checkbox. Okay, so after adding this one, what we have to do, we have to configure this one, right? We have to configure, first of all we have to configure the input. So which input, for which field we are going to use this input. So if you see over here, okay, we do have another field called action. Okay, so if we check over here, we do have another field called action, where we'll be having five values for this one: purchase, add to cart, view, change quantity, remove. So these are all, as I have told you, this is a web application, and especially it is a e-commerce application log files. So for this particular action field, we do have purchase, add to cart, view, change quantity, like that we do have values. Okay, remove, prominently these five values we do have. So these five values, okay, I'll be adding as a checkbox input. Okay, I'll be adding as checkbox input. So what I'll be doing, I will be, first of all, what we have to do, I have to click on this edit input. Okay, so label, for the field label, what I can give, check action values, right? Check action value, something you can always give. So search on change, we need not check on this one because already we do have a submit button. Okay, so token name, which is important one, what I'll be doing, because I am going to use for the action field, I'll be saying as action. Okay, so once after coming over here, okay, so default value, initial value, later will be coming to this part. Okay, so now for the other input, which is the other input, for the radio button input, as we do have two options, static option and dynamic options. So here also we'll be having static options as well as dynamic options. So because we do have four values, okay, we need not five values. Okay, we need not give statically the options. Okay, we need not hard code them. So we can always write an SQL query. Okay, we can always configure them dynamically. So giving dynamic options means what? We can write an SQL query over here. So from my index equals to net underscore index, source type equals to access underscore combined underscore w cookie. Okay, this is my source type. So from this one, what I want, I want action values, right? So I'll be extending this one with a pipe symbol, and I'll be saying table, and I'll be saying action. So if I say like this, okay, so many duplicate action values I'll be finding. So that's why what I'll be saying, dedupe of dedupe action I'll be saying. Okay, so if you want to check whether your SQL query is correct or not, click on this run search. Okay, so I have to select all time over here. Okay, there also I have to select all time. See, all the five values I'll be getting. Okay, so here also, now what I have to do, I have to select all time. Okay, so once after, so now our SQL query is correct. Okay, so whatever we have wrote is correct, we are getting five values. Okay, so now what we have to do, we have to give a field for label. Okay, field for label and field for value. So like this, earlier what we have given, name and value, right? So here also name and value. So which is the name and which is the value we have to give. So here also I'll be giving action as the name. Okay, and again the value also I'll be giving action only. Okay, so like this I will be giving, and again after configuring this one, I can always go up over here. Okay, and also I can always put a value called all. I can put a value called all. Okay, and for all I should get all values, right? That's why I have to give star over here. Okay, so that we are providing an option for the user to select all at a time as well. Okay, all at a time, or something at a time, or one at a time, anything you can always select. So now after configuring, so now if you see over here, so default value, all, shall I take all it is asking, so we can always check this checkbox so that it will be, so default it will be taking all. Okay, so and again as we have selected default, there is no need of selecting this input value. So now what we have to do, we have to see this is a checkbox, right? So as this is checkbox, the user can select only one thing. Okay, this is user need not select only one thing. Okay, he can always select multiple values. It is unlike the radio button. In the radio button, the user can only select only one value. He cannot select multiple values. But checkbox is it is not like that. The user can select one or more values at a time, right? So that's why we have to provide the option. So how we can provide that option? See, in the token value prefix, okay, token value prefix and token value suffix, okay, you can always provide double quotes over here. Okay, so if you put double quote over here, in the preview, Splunk is giving you a preview over here, so it is showing like this. Okay, so once if you give double quote, see for the prefix thing, it has, for the value one it has given a prefix double quote, and value two also it has given a prefix double quote. So by seeing this one you can always adjust. Okay, so in token value suffix also you can always give double quote. This is for the values, right? For configuring the values. Okay, so because we can always select more than one value, what we have to put, we have to put r. Okay, we have to put the boolean operator. We have to put r. Okay, we have to put r. So and again what we have to do, we can see here again there is no gap. Okay, so there is no gap, it is just like a one string. Okay, so what we have to do, we have to give a single space over here, and similarly for suffixing of the things also we have to give a single space. Okay, so that now it is appearing good, right? So like this we have to give the token value prefix, the token value suffix, and the delimiter. Okay, so now we have given everything. We have given label, we have given a token, we have selected the default value all, because we have specified it over here in the static options. And of course for the actual values we have given dynamic options by using the SQL query. So now it is looking good. Okay, and again for the field value, field for label we have given action, and field for value also we have given as action. So now if I apply this one, see all the five values it will be showing. Okay, all the five values it will be showing, and by default what we have selected, all as the value selected, right? So what we'll be doing, we first of all will be saving this one, and again once after saving, what we have to do now, we have to configure this one according to the input whatever we have selected, right, with the particular panel. So here what we'll be doing, we'll be selecting this edge search icon and just limit to the other one. Okay, just similar to the radio button how we have done over here. Again we'll be passing the token. Okay, you can always give either action equals to action, and if you click on submit, okay, so you'll be getting this one. See, or else you can select multiple things at a time. Okay, and also you can give. Okay, so either you can always select action equals to action, or simply action also you can say. Here also method equals to method you can always say. Okay, method equals to method you can always say. So now if you save this one, see, now if you change, it will be changing accordingly. Okay, so now whatever the values you want you can always select, and you can change this one. Okay, so like this you can always change. This is how you configure the checkboxes. Now let us see the other option, multi-select. Okay, so multi-select. So if you select this, if you know about the radio button, you can always do for the checkbox. Okay, you can always do it for the checkbox. The complicated things are this radio button and computer are important things. Okay, or this radio button and checkbox and the multi-select. So that's why I'm showing you over here. Okay, so you can always again select this multi-select. So in multi-select what you can do, Again the same story, whatever we have done, we have first of all we have to configure this one, right? First of all we have to configure the input. So here I'll be configuring according to the client IP. Okay, so based on the client IP I'll be configuring over here. So here for the multi-select, what I'll be doing, so client IP based on country I'll be doing it over here. So select country, I'll be giving label as select country. Okay, so here also I want to click on this search on change. Okay, so what will because we do have the submit button, so I'll be leaving as it is. So select country, based on countries will be this multi values. Okay, if you give multiple country values we should get the panel change accordingly, right? So that's why I'm taking a select, I have put a select country over here. So token name, because we'll be using country, I'll be saying country over here. Okay, and default value, all these things will be configuring later. Okay, and again as we are going to select multi select values. Okay, so again we can, and again we are taking countries, right? So many values will be there for countries. Okay, so many values will be there for countries. Okay, see if we search over here we'll be finding so many values. Okay, so 18 countries are there over here. So as we cannot write all these things, okay, as you cannot write all the things 18 statically. Okay, so what we'll be doing, we'll be giving dynamic options. So how we'll be giving, we'll be writing the SQL query. So again I'll be saying index equals to net underscore index, source type equals to access underscore combined underscore w cookie. Okay, so what I have to do, because I'm going to get countries, right? I have to extend this particular query, and I have to use the command, internal command IP location based on client IP. Okay, so and again what I'll be doing, I'll be taking a table command, extend this query by using a table command. Okay, and I'll be using now country. Okay, country, and along with country I also require client IP. So this country internally I'll be changing with the client IP, that's why I require client IP as well. Okay, country and client IP, and again because the country values will be appearing multiple times. Okay, so because we'll be finding duplicates, what I'll be doing, do dupe of country I'll be saying. So if you want to check this whether whatever we have wrote correct or not, you can always select this over here, and you can always change it to all time. And if we search this one, see, you do have for all the countries we do have a client IP associated to this one. So this is good to go. And what we have to do now, we have to change it to all time. Okay, so field for label, what we have to give, field for label. So field for label is the thing where the users will be seeing, right? So country is the name I'll be giving. So the users in the multi-select in the multi-select area, they will be seeing the country name. So that's why I'll be saying country, C is capital. Okay, country. And for field for value I'll be saying client IP. Okay, so client IP field for value internally. Okay, internally it will be using the client IP. Okay, so now I will click on apply, and again if you select over here, see all the values it will be showing. Okay, so here this is different from drop down. Okay, this is different from drop down. How it is different, here we can always select multiple values just like in a checkbox. Okay, so that is the thing. So now, and again the values are being populated over here. Okay, but what we have to do in order to select multiple values at a time, so again here also you have to give all as the value, all as the name, and value is star. So once if you have to provide the end user with the all with the all name as well, with all as the name as well, you have to give an option for him, so that if you want to select all the values, so you will be selecting this all value. Okay, so now if you come up over here, okay, so token value we have given as country, and default value will be selecting this as all, default as all will be selecting. Okay, And again, as we have selected the default value, there is no need to select the initial value. And then again, what we have to do, just like in the checkbox, for checkboxes, how we have done, we have to give the token value prefix and token value suffix. So what will be giving token value prefix, will be giving the quotation, double quotation mark, and similarly token value suffix also you will be giving double quotation mark. And here you will be putting R, okay, and again you will be giving a space over here, okay, you will be giving a space over here, and so that you will be getting the format like this. Okay, so now this is good, all the things we have configured. So the actual values we have configured with the dynamic options, and for all options we have given statically. And again the same thing we have selected over here, default value and token country we have given. And again the field names, how we are getting, for end user we are displaying as country, but internally we are taking the client IP. So now we can always click on apply. Okay, so see, by default we are seeing all value. Okay, you can always save this one. Okay, so now how we will be configuring this one, again the input, you have to click on edit. Okay, and you have to click on this magnifying lens icon. So or else what you can do, you need not give only over here, you can always go to this source page as well. Source, this, if you click on this source button, okay, so you'll be finding the XML code. Okay, you'll be finding, so internally everything is written in this kind of XML code. So where we are actually, we are here, okay, in this particular query. Okay, so we are here actually in this particular, for this particular panel we are editing over here. Okay, so now what we'll be doing, we will be giving, what is the name, token name we have to give, what we have to give over here, token name we have to give, right? So country as the token name, country as the token name we can always give. Okay, so and if we save this one, this will be saved. Okay, see, and again we can refresh this one once. Okay, and if I click on over here, okay, I'll be selecting the values. See, if I want United Kingdom I can select, if I want Bahamas I can select, if I want India also I can select. Okay, instead of this all, and if I click on submit, see, the values will be changed accordingly. Why, wherever the values will be having, so because I have selected for these three countries only, I have got the values for these three only. Okay, based on the particular values over here. Okay, and again if you select all over here, and if you remove this, see, now it will be changing accordingly. So basically I have selected only these three things, only these three records I am getting over here. And here also if I click post, so every each and everything if you configure like that, it will be changing. Okay, for each thing it will be changing. So like this you have to configure the particular inputs. And again if you select all over here, and if you remove this, okay, so I'll be getting all values again. So like this you can always configure the inputs. Hope you have understood. Okay, in the next video we will be seeing on the topic as well. Okay, until then, goodbye.